This is my stop hunter strategy that I utilize on this day to catch 3 risk reward, taking 1 winner and 1 loser, and I'll explain how I came out green, and I took all these trades completely for free on live in front of all of you guys on YouTube. So the raw clip is on my YouTube if you go under the live section of my channel to show proof executions. Nonetheless, you do see the executions as well on my chart here. Let's get straight into why I took these trades and what I was looking at this time. So let me just hide the kill zone real quick indicator so I can see everything more clearly here so you guys don't see clutter. Okay, cool. So to first start off this trade here, let me go to replay mode here and go back in time to where I was looking at on my high time analysis. So initially, when I was looking at this trade, I was seeing, okay, we hit 1 hour demand, which I caught out actually the night before, and I took a really nice long on this, by the way, but I cleared all of my other trades so it doesn't clear up the charts for today's trade recap. That'll be easier for you guys to watch and see. We are stuck between basically this 1 hour demand and this 30-minute supply. Now, if you go on like the 15-minute time frame, I was starting to see this as nice delivery to the upside. However, once we hit this 30-minute supply, first of all, I missed a short, unfortunately, off this 30-minute supply that refined off the 5-minute time frame. So that was unfortunate, but we got no really entry to the upside on the longs. As you can see here, there's nothing here to take to the upside. I don't see my entry model here, so there's no longs to be taken. But what I was noticing here though is that ideally, if we're gonna go to the upside this low, we should get a confirmation like an A plus. Originally I was looking for A plus setup here to the upside, and what happened was we didn't get any entry confirmation. So usually if we get a true liquidity sweep, you can see a few candles going in that direction or against that direction, sure, but you should pop back up pretty quickly after liquidity sweep. However, we did not. We just continued displacing lower and lower and lower. So that at this point, I was like, okay, how low can we go? We took out 2 session liquidity points. I think this one and this one. I'll see when I turn my indicator back on. But we took out a lot of liquidity. But then once I was looking at the higher time frame, I started to realize this starts to look like a QM pattern, QM model delivery. So usually with the QM model, we have this one big imbalance move, and then we get structured delivery to the upside. It doesn't have to look always this clean. In this case, it doesn't look as clean, but that's okay. And the main gist here is once we hit supply, we do another big sharp move. So basically, QM is a combination of 2 short moves, one initially, and then a slow pullback, and then another sharp move to the downside. And that is what I saw in terms of price delivery here. We had a massive sharp move to the downside, which should not have happened. We should have had this liquidity sweep when we took out this low and quickly displaced higher with the entry model, but not a single entry model in sight. So once we did get some type of confirmation of upside, it was already us in this 1 hour supply zone, which can hold. However, I did notice we also have demand. 1 hour demand is what I meant to say. We also have 1 hour demand right below, and I think it was on the 4 hour too. Yeah, so we have 4 hour demand right below. Okay, and so basically because of this delivery with how impulsive it was with so much momentum, this looked like QM to me directly, and so I was basically looking for shorts at this point. I did tell everyone on the stream too, you can look for a long here, but don't go for a big target like the next high for this long, or don't even go for 50% of this long. I told everyone go for a quick little one-to-one scalp. So if you want to scalp this trade, this is how you could have done it. First of all, you want to see where your target is. You need to get at least a 1-to-1 for scalping, or just target a 1-to-1, somewhere close. If it's a 0.8 RR, that's okay. But if it's a 0.5, don't even take the trade. Just skip off on a trade or wait for a retracement. In this case, if you were to look and take an IFG entry model, why is this an IFG? Well, we have a fair value gap in the opposing direction. We're trying to buy here off this 1 hour demand, right? We need to wait for a body candle closure above this gap. The gap ends here, which we do here. Cool. Look at the RR here. It's 0.34. Why is my target here? Because I told you guys, we have an internal pullback, making low for my stop hunter setup, which is what I took. I didn't take the longs here. I was looking for the shorts here that I called out to the stream. You want to wait for this internal high to get taken. As soon as it gets taken, immediately you can go short if you want to. I had a delayed entry on stream, but that's okay because it was still a solid price point to get my short off of. So if you really want to go for 1-to-1, you would need to put your stop loss this tight. And this to me makes no sense at all. This gives no breathing room for price to reverse and retrace off of this supply zone, low supply zone here, and you're just gonna likely immediately get stopped out. So what you can do here is just wait for a retracement. So if you wait for a retracement here, let's say you enter on this candle closure on this bearish candle, have your stop covering this sell to buy here that is actually miniature. If you don't know what I mean, if you don't know what I'm talking about, this is basically a way of how you can see it on the seconds. But anyway, I'm not going to go over that in today's video. That's a more advanced concept that I talk about within the course. But you would enter on this bearish candle, and then look, you can even have your stop at the low here. Cool. Look at the RR here now. So let me delete all those drawings here. You enter here, and boom, there you go. There's your trade for 1-to-1 scalp. That's it. You're just targeting next high here. You're not going for this. All right, and that's all you need. That's all you need. Now, where was my entry here? My entry was after we took out this high. Okay, roughly after we took out this high, I entered. Now, on the stream execution wise, it was a little bit delayed. Okay, but this is the ideal entry that should have been taken here, and it should have been a 6RR trade here, because you enter on this candle closure off this internal sweep here, and your target is the high time frame low, because like I said, I was anticipating here a QM model delivery, massive move, slow pullback, failed this liquidity. If we want to go higher, we should have did this, but we did not. Massive move to the downside. I'm expecting this QM to complete. Okay, again, don't look at QM model on Google. How I trade QM model is way different than everyone else online. It's not the same model. All right, so it's the same. It's not the same delivery is what I meant to say. Another thing with confidence or confluence for my setup here also is because my daily bias is pointing bearish on my indicator. So because it's bearish, I know it's often more right than wrong. So having that as confluence, they gave me more confidence to take this stop under short here, despite all this imbalance above. So that would have been the ideal entry. My entry was on stream here was slightly delayed around here, about a 4RR trade here to the lows. Again, I said on stream, you could have TP'd or went break even at the next low, which is about 2RR, or you hold for 4R like me, which is what I did. And that's how I basically got my trade. Now, there was another setup also using the exact same stop under setup here. Stop under setup here, another stop under here. You could have taken this exact same setup here, covering this this little setup buy here that's fully mitigated, which is a different type of setup buy, but again, not going to go in depth into that on this YouTube video, a trade recap, but essentially this is what you could have done here for another 5RR. If you want to target a 1 hour demand, that's like a 7RR trade. So on this day, if you took both short setups, you would have made 11 risk reward and could have called it a day here. Now for me, I was only able to catch this 4R on live stream, wasn't able to catch this other short on live. So whoever that took that next continuation short, there you go. Now that we're in this 1 hour demand, how do I find this 1 hour demand? We have this 1 hour right here, this block, and then of course I'm just gonna cover this structure point because technically there's a 1 hour here and there's a 1 hour here as well. So I'm just gonna cover both, and just keeping it very simple with my drawings, covering both PYs. So now I was looking for one more setup at the end of the day. We are still inside kill zone. Volatility looks really good still. This is fine to trade. I did say if you want to take risky longs, you could have taken them off this PY. There is, I think, an OB right here that's unmitigated. And you could have taken what? 6 risk reward long. So if you took all 3 setups, like called on stream, the short, and this long, 4, that's 11, that's plus 6, that's 17 risk reward, guys. 17 risk reward, risking 1%. That is equivalent to making 17% on your account in a single session. Not even a day. This is only 1 hour price action filled with tons of opportunity in the market. But again, I would say this long here was, like I told everyone, risky to enter, just because you don't know how far this low down move can go. I was thinking it could even potentially go for oh wow, did it go for it? Okay, I did not realize that at the time. It did go for the other 1 hour unmitigated demand at the time. Damn, okay, all right. So I guess that does add more confluence to the setup to the upside then. I completely missed that key detail, because if it did not hit this 1 hour below that 1 hour, this becomes more risky because price can do a fake out and then go for the 1 hour below and then go higher. Anyway, this was basically waiting for no structure to shift here. You're just taking it off the first initial entry model, and you could have got 6R. Now, I was looking for a continuation this whole time if you're on stream and watching me. Unfortunately, we were holding block flow, which means these lows don't get violated. Lower high, or higher high, lower low, or higher low, higher high, higher low, higher high. We kept holding block flow, and if you go on ES, let me turn on the indicator. I believe we hit 30-minute supply. Yeah, so we had 30-minute supply here, and because of this 30-minute supply, that eventually made price go back to almost 50%, basically 50%, do a mitigation move, and that stopped me out because I was waiting for my setup here, and I told everyone if you want to take this setup, it's more risky. I believe I have my limit order here. Go back. I have my limit order here. You can look at the executions here, and I was trying to go for basically high here and got stopped out. That's ultimately what happened. Price went lower and then ultimately went higher back again. And now it starts obviously chopping. I told everyone this is OPEX, so you kind of want to not trade for a day. You should be done. So yeah, that was basically the trading session on stream. For me personally on stream, I took 1 winner, 1 loser, but was still up 3 RR, which is 3 times my losers, because I trade a high RR strategy. The stop winner is a very good strategy. There's 2 of them, like I said. You could have made even more money on this day, especially if you took the longs here. But I told the stream this was more risky because we already hit 30-minute supply at this point. And since we hit 30-minute supply at this point, you don't know if this high time frame supply is going to hold or not. And even if it does not hold, it can still cause a mitigation back to 50%. And that's what it did. It took out this trend liquidity below, as you can see here, and then mitigated this 5-minute, which I didn't see at the time initially. But there's a 5-minute PY. Let me refine it correctly there. That's a 5-minute PY right there. And price obviously had a setup going to the 5-minute to the upside, but I was off the charts at this point. I'll just call it a day there. So that's basically my session here. Hope you guys enjoyed today's trade recap. If you guys have any questions, join the free Discord server. You can ping me there and let me know. Otherwise, I'll see you guys in a course of mentorship. If you guys are interested in learning directly from me personally, one-on-one, I do have 1 more spot left for this month for private one-on-one. After spots close this whole month, there's not going to be any more openings for one-on-one help with the mentorship. So if you guys want to get exclusive access to me, private one-on-one weekly 1-hour calls, click the link down below to apply, and I'll catch y'all in the next video. Peace.